I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
That's Booby.
And Jumpy and Ghosty and Chip.
Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Red right hand.
This is part of the trifecta that we're listening for. What's his name? The big homie?
Armando.
Big homie Armando. Armando.
So we're curious to see if this is going to replicate the same sound as the other song or if this is not.
Correct. So this is part 2 of the Armando trifecta.
Yes.
Not to be confused with Web Week.
The first one we listened to was Lover Man, and then this is now the second one. He wants us to kind of listen to them back to back.
Right. Ben's actually pretty funny because, like, he'll be like, type 22 for Web Week, and he got a couple. He got
quite a few, I thought.
Quite a few. We're actually going to be doing a themed week with a specific villager, but that is to be determined as far as the date. Okay. That escalated quickly. We're all chilling, da-da-da-da. And then I get out and you're... It's like, oh, okay. That's interesting.
Oh, I'm fine as long as we deal with it. But this has been going on. Well, it has. And we keep pushing it off. So, and that to me was next level. Like, you came in the house, didn't even know you were here. And you just walk up to my bedroom and walk into my room. That's next level.
Red right hand. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. For time and topical political commentary, can hit us up. Is that special one from Middle America done?
With the
2?
It hasn't been uploaded? Okay, we'll look at that after. Let's just get this done, and then I'll look into that after.
Red right hand, ladies
I've been working all day, but I can keep working. Alright, ready?
I do it every day.
You were playing Fortnite for a bunch while I was cooking. So.
With who?
With the kids.
Oh.
Yeah.
Huh. Interesting.
Cool.
Interesting. Tension, ladies and gentlemen.
What?
Can you hit play?
Go.
That's what I want.
Take a little walk to the edge of town. Now go across the tracks. Where the viaduct looms like a bird of doom as it shields the cracks. Where secrets lie in the border fires, in the humming wires. Hey man, you know you're never coming back. Past the bridge and the gully, baby, and the stacks. 'Cause on a gathering storm comes a tall, handsome man in a dusty black coat with a red right hand. Well, he'll wrap you up in his hands, tell you that you've been a good girl. He'll rekindle all of those dreams that took you a lifetime to unfurl. Well, he'll reach deep into the hole, heal your shrinking souls. Hey, but don't you worry, buddy, he ain't coming back. He's a ghost, he's a god, he's a man, he's a dude. Well, they're whispering his name through this disappearing land, but hidden in his coat is a red right hand. You ain't got no money, can you see? You ain't got no car, well, he'll get you one. Oh, we've all lost our self-respect. We feel like a fucking insect. Don't you worry, buddy, 'cause here it comes through the barrio and the Bowery and the ghetto and the slum. Well, his shadow is cast wherever he stands. Stacks of green paper in his red ride's hand.
Sounds so familiar.
What?
Well, you'll see him in your nightmares, you meet him in your dreams. He'll appear out of nowhere, but he ain't what he seems. Well, you'll see him in your head on the TV screen. Hey, sonny, I'm a-warning you to turn it off. He's a ghost, he's a god, he's a man, he's a guru. Where under microscopic coke in his catastrophic plan, designed and directed by his red right hand. Thank you.
Thank you.
There's some messy brilliance up in there.
Yeah,
I like it.
I really like this guy, this Nick Cave fella.
Yeah.
He's got this, I don't know, for some reason, anytime I hear, like, I forgot the name of the Reservoir Dogs. Who's the director of Reservoir Dogs? I forgot. Quentin Tarantino. For some reason, anytime I hear this guy sing, it just reminds me of Quentin Tarantino. Which, here, let me Google a picture of him. Maybe.
Oh, okay.
Did you get the
reference?
No, the thumbnail. Remember I said, hey, that needs to be the thumbnail. Let's screenshot it.
I have the screenshot and I put it into the video, but we just have to add it in as the thumbnail.
So that's a no.
Well, I mean, it's right there on the
Did we
computer.
release that thing
No.
already? Okay.
No, we only released one today.
Quentin Tarantino. You were too busy. Okay. So he reminds me of Quentin Tarantino. Anyway.
We'll pull up a picture when your internet does what we pay it to do.
It'll never happen. It's not the internet. It's,
I know.
It's this.
But I wanted to blame it on the
wretched
internet.
Wretched device. Yeah. So. Red Right Hand is a theme. See, there's Quentin Tarantino.
Oh yeah.
He looks like Quentin Tarantino.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And he sounds like
a thinner version.
He
of that
sounds
guy.
like Quentin Tarantino would sound if he could sing. Red Right Hand is a. So I'm reading a lot. I'm doing a lot of Lewis right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm in the middle of this very interesting book that's not very popular when it comes to Lewis's stories. But anyway, Red Right Hand was written. Wasn't the title of the book? The title of the book was Paradise Lost. The most famous quote is obviously, "I'd rather rule in hell than serve in heaven." Blah blah blah. And the Red Right Hand was this theme of like ominous doom, like throughout the book.
I thought it was guilt.
No. It was this theme of like doom and like vengeance and calamity. But the genius of Milton was you didn't really know if he was talking about God's right hand of just wrath or if it was talking about the devil's, because the devil's a central figure in the anger and all that. So you really couldn't tell. And obviously, if you really wanted to go down the rabbit hole of the doctrine of concurrence, you would say that both are true.
But it's both.
Right? Because,
So by the end of the book, he doesn't tell you you're supposed to know by...
No, you're not supposed... It's one of those things that just gets left. It's one of your things that you hate because you...
Dorian has this really, really cool story for a movie. It's ridiculous, in my opinion. And it was kind of left kind of like cliffhanger-ish. I'm like, what? I'm like, well, I mean... And then he told me something else. He's like, well, you know the writer, so I can tell you what was actually happening.
Oh.
And then he told me like all these other little things that were going on that were like little tiny tips that you'd have to watch it twice to be able to pick up on.
Wow.
It's like, oh, he's such a brilliant boy. He's our 14-year-old.
Yeah, he's a smart kid. He's gonna change the world, that's for sure. So anyway, that's the concept of the Red Right Hand. It's this sort of ominous kind of feeling of impending doom that something bad's gonna happen, but you really couldn't tell.
Oh boy.
Why? What?
Well, I just think that people in general can kind of like have that feel. Like
I live in that.
Well, I do now as well.
1 minute you're playing Fortnite, you're enjoying yourself, everything's good, everything's kosher. You wash up for 3 minutes in the bathroom, you come out, and it's World War 57. Who knew?
If you guys knew what was going on, you'd say, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm sure it makes sense to somebody. It
makes sense to a lot of people.
It doesn't make much sense to me. Oh, look, our GNC releases.
Would you feel like good if you turned around and my dad was walking into your bedroom and you had no idea he was even in your house?
Let's talk about something else. Okay, so what do you think this is?
Oh, I had no clue because, it seemed like they're kind of personifying it as a person, but I don't know anything about this Red Right Hand, so. Or I didn't.
Well, now you know.
But honestly, this was one of those songs where I wasn't super interested in the lyrics because the music itself was so interesting. Like the beginning honestly had the feel of like
well, the piano playing
yeah, it kind of sounded like a nice restaurant.
I promise you I've heard that before. I've heard that before. I just don't know where I've heard it before. I don't know.
It's gonna happen.
Huh? No, I don't know where I've heard it before, but I'm fairly certain that
I feel like that's the sound that you hear in a nice restaurant.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. But that little piano progression is more than just a generic. Like I've heard that progression before.
I have too.
Comment section, help me out. Where have I heard it before?
I feel like I've heard it in a lot of different movies. You know when they have like those nice. Remember where you took me for my birthday? It was like a nice restaurant with like glasses, like the little glasses on the table and stuff like that. You know, like there's those. I feel
that restaurant was really that nice.
That was really nice for me. What, have we been anything nicer than that?
You don't think the Boston with Ratatouille was?
No.
Oh, is it because Ratatouille?
It wasn't just that. It's the for me, all those unnecessary glasses on the tables, on all the tables, looked like there was upside down chandeliers everywhere. That's what. Oh. Plus, it was a window seat. I was sitting by the glass and I was looking out at the city. That's the stuff you see on movies.
It's a very good hack. Right. So that little piano progression.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Like, there's two people and you're like entering the restaurant. You can hear the piano, and then all of a sudden you see the people that it's all about.
The only reason I was focused as much on the lyrics is because I'm a big fan of live performances. Everybody knows.
They're good.
Which is why sometimes a lot of people just FYI, especially if we do an Alliance review or definitely a $75 review, if somebody gives us a specific link to review,
they always do.
That's the one we're going to review.
Right.
Now people always say you shouldn't have listened to the live one.
So you can cry in the comment section all you want, but we're not changing anything.
Well, I just wanted to show you the logic. The logic is that this person, is supporting the channel and the movement, so we're gonna do whatever they ask us to do.
Right.
So. That's why
you
we
want to partner? We'll partner.
But this live one was really good. I felt like he really could have improved on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
He changed up some of the lyrics, type of thing. But I don't know. But anyway, Gathering Storm comes a tall, handsome man in a dusty black coat with a red right hand. SubhanAllah. Can you imagine that sort of that combination?
No.
Tell you you've been a good boy. He'll rekindle all the dreams it took you a lifetime to destroy. That's a brilliant line.
Wow.
That's a brilliant line. Because people really do that. They destroy their own dreams.
Yep.
I don't know what it is. I don't know why people do that. I don't know if they reach a certain point to where it's like, oh, it's I'm never going to attain it. So I'd rather be the one to destroy my own dreams than, have somebody else take it from me so that you can say you destroy it. But people really do actively sabotage themselves. And if it's a dream worth dreaming at some level, it's it's going to be difficult. It's going to be hard, But go ahead.
There's some things that once you pass a certain age, you're not doing it. It depends on what your dream is. There's some of them. It's literally it's over. You're
I agree.
Literally not going to do that dream now, and that's a pretty discouraging feeling. I never knew, I don't necessarily know what that feels like. The older that I get, the more I'm kind of like, oh, I should have done this. Oh, I should have done that.
See, that was always a big thing for me. That was always the thing. It's I never want to wake up and say I'd rather die.
Oh yeah.
So that was a big thing. But I didn't have I didn't. It's not I was trying to go to the NFL or something like that. You know what I mean? Although some of the things that I was doing was literally a 1% success rate.
Right.
And subhanAllah, I made it. So yeah. And I don't know if I don't know if I'm speaking from a position of it's this really strange thing where I just feel like anything that I really want to do, I'm going to do.
Oh yeah.
It's and you're kind of like that too.
Well, yeah, but I still can feel what that feels like to say, oh, I wish I would have, I'm reading that play right now. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm looking at it and I'm there's a certain actress in there that has a fun little part, but she's in her 20s. So that's that. You know what I mean?
That's ridiculous.
What do you mean that's
ridiculous? If you went for that role, you would absolutely get it.
I'm not going to go for that role anyway. I mean, she has to kiss somebody.
Is it me?
No.
Is it my character?
No.
See, that's the real reason she looked at the play, was just to make sure that my character wasn't kissing anybody. That's really why she was
no, we already talked about that. We already discussed that wasn't what you were going to be doing.
Oh, I know. That's what we discussed. Okay.
Did we not?
Huh?
Did we not?
Well, I mean, that's not even something we'd have to discuss, right? But anyway, yeah. But it's funny because
that's you. That's the one you would be.
Yeah, there I go. Donald. I could take that guy.
Yep.
But yeah, dreams are an interesting. And you know what's interesting now? I was watching this thing and somebody was talking about their kid's dream or whatever, and the guy was saying that his kid's dream. He was I think he was upset, confused. He's my kid wants to be a YouTuber. Can you believe that?
Well,
his dream is to be a YouTuber, and I'm that's a valid. Joe Rogan made $30 million last year.
Yeah, I understand that, but you can understand how the older generation is looking at that. They don't realize, they think it's another one of how you'll have these people that think that they're going to go in the NFL, and you're looking at them, and you're there's no way. You can't even play downtown with the rest of the people and hold your own. You're not going professional NFL. And I think that's what people are looking at it as. They're oh, it's a 1% of 1% that makes money off YouTube, which is not true. I don't believe it's that low. But, depending on your personality.
Yeah.
Depending on which thing you decide to do.
Well,
I hear the people that just do video games. If you have the right personality for that, I mean, there are some personalities out there that our kids are constantly watching.
At the end of the day, it comes out, personality, but a lot of it is just how much work you're willing to put into it, and that's the long and the short of it. You know, if you put out content every day, then you're going to be marginally successful. If you don't, you won't.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the long and short of it.
Right.
I mean, at the beginning, I was like completely crazy about it. If we were off by like an hour, I was horrible to be around. You know, now I'm just like, we missed an upload. You know.
Yeah, and you know what's weird?
I'm a lot.
You're a lot more chill about it, and now I'm the one that's getting more stressed about it.
Yeah.
Not like you were, but.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Wakes me up at night.
He'll rekindle all the dreams that you get lifetime. Yeah. But, you know, I think you're right, though. Like, there's some, like, being a major Hollywood, like, we ran into somebody that wanted to be a major Hollywood actress, and, like, she just wasn't going to be. She's working in Manhattan.
No, I know who you're talking about.
She went to acting school, and...
I had no clue. I didn't know that she, you know...
I just didn't feel like... I think you have to be, like, a certain type of person. But the YouTube thing is funny because we've got contacts now with some pretty interesting people who, you know... So, I mean, it's just a very interesting time to be alive. But anyway, I'm going to be thinking about that line for about a week. He'll reach deep into the hole, he'll heal your shrinking soul, but there won't be a single thing that you can do.
That's weird.
He's a god, he's a man, he's
I
a
liked
ghost,
that
he's
part.
a guru. Guru, she guru.
I just like that whole, like, the way that he said he's a god, he's a man, he's a ghost, he's a guru. I liked that.
Shiva Bhadapa Jai. Only the Hindus know what I was going there.
So he's doing all these things
that's healing
like awesome,
you, but
then
there's
at the
nothing
same
that you can do about it. They're whispering his name through the disappearing land, but in his code is a red right hand. So this guy is like awesome supposedly, but there's really, it looks like he's got something sinister underneath all that, and there's nothing you can do about it because he's healing your soul, which is very interesting. Like, there are people who like do things for you emotionally, and it kind of like binds you to them and makes you overlook certain things and makes you blind to certain things and
absolutely.
So here's where I think who this quote unquote person actually is revealed as becoming. So verse 3, you don't have no money, he'll get you some. You don't have no car, he'll get you one. You don't have no self-respect, you feel like an insult. Well, don't you worry, buddy, because here he comes, through the ghettos and the barrio and the Bowery and the slums. A shadow is cast wherever he stands. Stacks of green paper in his red right hand. So it looks like
bringing him money.
Money / capitalism / materialism is going to rescue you from all your issues. So if you go back, your dreams are destroyed.
So what's the sinister thing? The money?
Well, the sinister thing is that materialism is a temporary fix, but it doesn't really fix the depths of what's going on in your soul.
Right.
There's a transcendent issue. Like, for example, when you think about your dreams, like, there's a reason you destroyed your dreams. And then beyond that, to get even more meta, there's a reason that your specific dreams are your dreams. Like, that's one of the things that people don't realize, which is a major, major moment for me. Like, when I was like, why am I so obsessed with accomplishing these things that 99% of the 350 million people in America cannot do? Like, why is that such a big thing with me? Why did I have to do this thing that, 99% of, is listed, literally. The report came out 2 or 3 years ago. It's literally the hardest place to do X. Why do I have to do that? And so, like, I had this dream of, like, doing both things, and people will generally congratulate you. Like, whoa, man, you're trying to do something hard. You're trying to do something impossible, big fail rate, selection, blah, blah, blah. And, like, I did it, and then I finally, pieced it together after a time, which was you had this, crazy, miraculous thing happen when you were really a baby, and so your life was like, you're gonna be some whatever in the world. And so, like I said in the previous video, once I hit 17, 18, I started like panicking every time there was a birthday, because I was like, all right, I'm not accomplishing anything. I'm not doing anything with my life. And so when I was able to understand why my dreams were my dreams, then you can also understand why people sabotage their dreams. Because a lot of times their dreams really aren't their dreams. They're doing it for somebody else. So like the dad wants the kid to be a whatever, and the kid would rather be an artist, but he's going to go play baseball, and his dream really isn't to make it in baseball. His dream is to have his dad's approval. Right? So there's a lot of really like intricate ways that, but here I think in this situation is like, money can solve the problem.
The song was used as a theme song for this horror movie Scream 1 and 2. Is that what you were thinking? I don't usually read the side,
I must have heard
I never
it there.
saw Scream 1.
I must have heard it there. I never really liked the Scream movies.
Were they gory?
In my opinion, knife stuff is not my thing.
Yeah.
Like gun stuff I can see all day, every day, but explosions I can see. Knife stuff, I don't know. It's too personal. So he's a god, he's a man, he's a ghost, he's a guru. She's a guru. They're whispering his name. So he's got this big stack of green in his red right hand. So, like, this is, there's so many applications to this. I can still remember 2 moments in Truman High School. One moment was a guy who was coming in, he was a tech guy, and he basically said, by the time you guys are my age, and he was like in his 50s, but this is like 299, 2000. He's like, by the time you guys are my age, everybody will have a computer with the internet in their house. And we just thought that was like the most ridiculous, like, what?
Yeah.
Now I've got like literally 11, 12 computers in my house, and we've forgotten some of them. There's a couple more there. I mean, now granted, there's, but I'm still saying, like, most of us, so that was one. The other one was when the student loan guy showed up.
What did he say?
The bank guy showed up. Well, the typical, if you don't graduate from school, you're going to be a loser, and blah, 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 blah. And he brought up the whole race thing, and he was talking about, it was a very, very good presentation. Of course, what he didn't tell us was the easiest way to wealth is simply to be married. Because what happens is when you're not married, you've got, people fitting the bill by themselves 2 times over, basically. And it's just not a very efficient way to generate revenue. But did he bring, no, it's all about college. So he was a banker, and he was talking to us about college. So here he is coming into the ghetto, bringing up the the racial stuff. Yeah, man, it was pretty crazy. And of course, at the time, I thought to myself, I'm not going to college because I thought I was going to die. So,
oh my gosh, that's true.
Yeah, it's like, who knows? I remember looking at my friend like, this is some bullshit. Like, we're not going to make it out of here. And the crazy thing is, like, Truman High School wasn't really that bad compared to, like, Taft. Taft was like,
really bad.
Oh, they called Taft training animals for tomorrow. That's what they called it. And the A-Tech gangsters were throwing people out of windows, literally. Like, yeah, it was insane. My mom took one look at Taft because I was in a zone school district, and Taft was my zone school, and she was like, "No, I'm not sending him here." So I got to go to Truman. I don't know how she did it because it was a zone school thing and whatever. But but anyway, the banker guy showed up, and he and he really laid it on thick. And I remember, like, man, if I was going to go to college, I'd definitely do this, but I'm such a loser, blah, blah, blah. And now,
wow,
I've still got a friend or two on Facebook, and they're still paying off the student debt. It's like so criminal.
That's awful.
So criminal.
That is terrible.
Like, there's a long black hand. I mean, the red right hand going into the barrios and the ghettos. Me and I'm not going to mention her name so as to protect her, but we were watching the Democratic debates and texting back and forth, and Tom Steyer brought up reparations. And I said, I'm not a fan. So, like, principially, obviously, I'm not against reparations. But what I know of my people, I said, this will go right back into the white banks immediately. Because she's like, yeah, there's going to be all these property scams. I'm like, property scams? Nah, fam. We'd have a bunch of folks buying up a bunch of Jordans and a bunch of, Mitsubishi Eclipses tricked out.
That's too bad.
I can say it. Okay? So it would just go right back to the corporate, stooges who are mostly, I'm like, and, it'd be one of the worst things to happen to us. But, so yeah, it's that concept of the if you misdiagnose the problem, you're obviously going to misdiagnose the solution. And so, like, especially if you're in the hood or in the ghetto, you're going to think that money would solve all those problems.
Right.
And I think money would solve some of the problems. But as I said, you had people, and I'm saying this from experience, you had people living in the ghetto, hustling, drug dealing, risking their life and their freedom, and blowing all of it on clothes.
Really weird.
But they still lived in the ghetto.
Yeah.
Like, if you saved
like
it up,
Jay-Z saved up and then he got out of there.
Well, right. He reinvested in himself.
Yeah.
And, that's why he's a billionaire now. But it was, which I guess Bernie says shouldn't exist. Tell Jigga Man that. But yeah, it's like, I would, me and my friend be like, yo, these dudes are so weird, man. Like, do it for 6 months, stack it all up, dress like a bum, and get the hell out of the hood.
Yeah.
Nope.
Can't do it.
Nope. So people in the ghetto are particularly, that's why he specifically talked about the barrio. Here he comes to the ghettos and the barrio and the Bowery and the slums. It's like lower class people who don't have, and I'm talking about our lower caste, not, their character. I'm talking about just the caste system that we have in capitalist America, which is, if you're in the ghetto, it's a certain type of mentality. And it's a sort of, you're told that you're the scum of the earth the whole time, blah, blah, blah. And even we do it to ourselves. Say, oh, that's so ghetto, blah, 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 blah.
Oh, yeah.
So then what happens is that when you get into a little money, you want these symbolic markers that you're more than the ghetto. So you have these symbolic markers while you're still in the ghetto. And so because I was born outside of this country, and again, my mom and Marcus Garvey and Alex Haley and Farrakhan and things of that nature. Like, I never really had that mentality that I needed a symbolic marker of anything. I channeled it all into my efforts and, my accomplishments. But this was very, very insightful. If it's money / materialism / predatory capitalism, like, yada, 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 that's a very brilliant line. You'll see him in your nightmares, you see him in your dreams, he'll appear out of nowhere, but he ain't what he seems. You'll see him in your head on your TV screen. And hey, buddy, I'm warning you to turn it off. You're one microscopic cog in his catastrophic plan designed and directed by his red right hand. Yeah. I saw this meme. It's not funny, but basketball players, they walk off and the fans put their hands out.
Yeah.
So there's this little kid, couldn't have been more than 12. He's got his hands out and everybody's just walking by the kid like he doesn't exist. And then the caption was, this is what it looks like when regular people try to defend billionaires. Like, why are you defending these people? And so it's like, but this Iowa thing, this is getting really political, but I don't know what to tell you. That's what the song triggered. This Iowa thing is very interesting to me, just to sit back and watch it, because
it's so frustrating to me.
I told Sonia I couldn't shoot a Middle America episode about it because I was so furious. And on that particular site, I'm generally, if I'm that amped up emotionally, I don't shoot for it. But like, there are so many things. Like, there was, CNN had their own independent poll, and it had Bernie winning by a mile. But then Pete Buttigieg called up and said, you shouldn't publish that because my name wasn't on the ballot. Turned out his name was on the survey, but the guy mispronounced his name. Surprise, surprise. Like, to this moment, I don't know if Pete Buttigieg is right. You know what I mean? I've heard Buttigieg, da-da-da-da-da, but like, it's like, really? So they spiked the entire thing. They didn't tell us who won. It was obvious that Bernie won, but Buttigieg calls up and, it's okay. Tulsi Gabbard, after she took down Kamala Harris, they basically changed the rules of who could be in the next debate and froze her out. And then Michael Bloomberg donates, I don't know, $50 to $100 million to the DNC. They changed the rules. So it's like, and the media really isn't touching, the left established media isn't touching it. And then the Robbie Mook was one of the testers for the thing in Iowa. Robbie Mook was on the Hillary Clinton campaign. He was the head architect of the Hillary campaign. Buttigieg does $40,000 in contributions to shadowing.
It's so terrible.
But the thing that is alarming to me is how the media plays along. Like we saw it yesterday with Bernie, where during the debates they talked about everybody except for Bernie.
I know. I couldn't believe it. I was like,
Amy Klobuchar had a great show. Oh my gosh, she had a great show. It's like, I'm not mad at Amy Klobuchar, but let's just be real. Like, there's no way in God's green earth that this young lady's going to beat Bernie Sanders at the popular level. Like, so that's what is like freakishly scary. It's like, yo, the media is in bed with a certain political apparatus, and obviously when you do it on the Fox angle, they're in bed with the Republican apparatus. I mean, I think it was Ari Fleischer or something like that. He was, I forgot who it was. It was somebody's, the guy was an anchor on Fox, fair and balanced, He retired, and then the next day he jumped in as Bush's press secretary for a second term. It's like, okay, then you were never, so like, that, like, he'll appear out of nowhere. He's on your head. He's in your TV screen. He's this. And they've got this massive catastrophic plan. So it's just this whole week has, I don't know, probably the last 4 years has proven that these people, it's just about a power grab, and it's just about their plans, and they don't really care what the voter has to say.
I hate how dishonest the whole thing is.
Well, after Hillary won the popular vote by 3 million, but of course she lost. She got worked on the Electoral College, and then once you know it in Iowa, it's basically the same structure. You get the popular vote, which is the regular people, and then you've got the delegates, and that's the Electoral College thing. So, and all the people, the talking heads that were decrying the Electoral College when Clinton, the Democrat, lost to Trump. They're not saying the same thing now when because none of these people want Bernie to win. So it's just like, whoa, man, it's crazy. So the whole Russia Zelensky thing was just a smokescreen so that you couldn't see what they were really doing, which was really tearing up our democracy. But that's a different story. Go to Middle America if you want the full team.
You want to hear more about that?
So yeah, I think it can be a lot of things, but it's sort of like the personified capitalist sort of shadow government type of thing that's in bed with the media, and it's you can almost say it's prophetic at some level, because I mean, here we are, dear listener.
I think you're probably right with your assessment.
Yeah, that was written in 1994. Subhanallah.
Wow.
What do you give the song?
9.9. It was really good.
Yeah, definitely a 9.7 to me. This guy, probably one of the most unique voices.
Yeah.
And this is one of those things where
and
it's like,
just instrumentally what he did, the whole thing was just crazy. And then the way that they like kind of did it one way, and then when they changed the lights and the music changed another way, it was just, like I said, it was like chaotic brilliance. I really, really liked it.
Yeah.
And then once you break down the lyrics, then you're like, wow, okay, another layer of intelligence here.
Yeah, this guy.
9.9 for me.
He's a deep brother. Okay, there you are. You heard it first. Been out.
Sorry out.
Gone.